The following program is made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company. It's Varsity Quiz Bowl, and today, Bart Geraci, John Paul Pro, Julia Jurisic, and Mitty Kelleher from Country Day will meet in a battle of quick recall. Chris Strickler, Barry Canton, Hans Jonassen, and Scott Zander from St. Martin's. The alternate from Country Day is Tim Myler, and the coach Harlan McFadden. And the alternate from St. Martin's is Jill Demont, and the coach Wita Muller. And now, here's our moderator, Mel Levitt.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Welcome once again to Varsity Quiz Bowl. This is round two. St. Martin's and Metairie Park Country Day have both won their first games convincingly, so their match today, as you just saw. Before we start, let me introduce first our judge, Dr. Ann Akers. Our scorer today is Betty Baggart of WYES Television. And I recognize there's Cliff Beal, an intern here at YES, a student at Loyola. Let's give them a round of applause, and then we'll be on our way. Okay, gang. All righty, here we go with the first question. We're leading up now to a lagniappe of 30 points, and the face-off is this. This 29-year-old pop rock singer, guitarist, and songwriter who recorded his first album last year won the top 4 Grammy Awards for
St.
best...
Martin's Zander.
Chris Cross.
That's who it was, Christopher Chris Cross. Real name, Christopher Geppert. However, Chris Cross is the new sensation of the singing world. You have an audio lagniappe coming up, St. Martin's. As our first lagniappe of the game for 30 points, I'd like you first to listen to the music I'll play, and then I'm going to ask 3 questions. Let's give it a listen. All right, that's one of the dominant themes in that particular work. My questions are these. Number 1, for 10 points, who was the composer?
Chopin.
No, I'm afraid not. It's Franz Schubert.
Oh, that's right.
Number 2, what is the popular name of this work?
The Unfinished Symphony.
No, this is the Surprise Symphony. Surprise Symphony. Didn't hear later on, it would have clued you even more specifically because it suddenly stops the slow tempo and hits, and then it becomes surprising. What's the number of the symphony? Got a chance to pick up 10. Number of the symphony, the Surprise Symphony. By
9.
Oh, 1 off, it's 8. Well, you pays your money, takes your choice. We'll move on now to another face-off, teams. We're pointing now for a lagniappe of 20 points. It's been a year for earthquakes, it seems, unfortunately. The last before this was you recall, a devastating quake in Italy. Last week, measuring 6.6.
St. Martin's, Jonassen.
San Francisco.
No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. Will?
Country Day, Bro.
Greece.
Greece is correct. 6.6 on the Richter scale. A quake in Greece, you've got 10 points. And now Metairie Park Country Day's on the board with a chance to pick up 20 points more. On March 6th, this week, a veteran newscaster and anchorman for the CBS News will give his last nightly newscast. His successor will take his place then and try to prove he's really worth a multi-million-dollar contract for 10 points apiece. Tell me first the name of the retiring newscaster and the name of his replacement.
Okay, the retiree is Walter Cronkite.
And
Dan Rather.
Correct on both counts. You've got 20 points. Country Day. Here's another face-off. We're going for a lagniappe of 20. For 10 points, teams, supply the missing word in the following sequence of 7. Kingdom, phylum, class, blank, family.
Country Day is Jersey.
Order.
Order's correct. 10 points. Country Day. It's kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. All right, here's a lagniappe of 20 points. Country Day, in modern times, the burning of fossil fuels has filled the atmosphere with carbon dioxide, resulting in a slow warming of the Earth attributed to the fact that carbon dioxide acts like glass to let certain rays from the sun pass through while preventing other rays from escaping from the Earth. Now, for 10 points apiece, identify these 2 forms of energy and tell me which will pass through and which will not. Which will pass through, which will not?
Could you repeat it?
I'm afraid we can't, no.
Which will?
Not according to the
The
rule.
ultraviolet. The ultraviolet will pass.
All right,
The infrared won't.
That's correct. Ultraviolet will pass. The rays from the sun, they pass through the CO2 layer. The heat rays or infrared do not escape. You're correct on both counts. You have 20 points. Another face-off. Now, we're leading up to a lanyap at 25 points, and here's the face-off. He was the leader of the Nazi Party, propaganda chief in Hitler's government, and he was in
St.
charge
Martin
of...
Strickler.
Goebbels.
Correct. Joseph Paul Goebbels. I was going to say he was in charge of banning the burned books, or burning the banned books. Works better the other way around. All right. You got a 25-point lanyap for 5 points apiece. Name the authors of the following works of English literature. Who wrote Pamela?
Richardson.
Correct. Northanger Abbey.
Austin.
Correct. Mayor of Casterbridge.
Hardy.
That's right. Descent into the Maelstrom.
Poe.
Correct. Billy Budd.
Melville.
You got all 5, 25 points. Well, you guys are really racking them up today. We have another face-off. We're going now for a lanyap at 20 points. All right, teams, the United Arab Republic is at the same latitude as central Saudi Arabia. Yet agriculture is possible in Egypt, but not in that part of Saudi Arabia, or a part of it. For 10 points, tell me what makes it possible in...
Country day, Jersey.
Nile River.
That's right, the Nile River. The mother of agriculture in Egypt, as a matter of fact. You picked up 10. Here's a chance at 20 more in 2 parts. The very last MG motor car ever to be shipped to the USA has been ceremoniously delivered to its purchaser, a resident of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. For 10 points, can you name him, this distinguished resident who just loves MGs?
Gerald Ford.
What was that?
Gerald Ford.
The last name is right, believe it or not, but it's Henry Ford II. All right, we got one more for 10 points. It's a good guess. Coincidentally enough, the very first MG ever imported into the United States, an old M-type midget, was owned by Henry's father. For 10 more points, name him.
Henry Ford?
No, I think that was his grandfather. His father was Edsel Ford, whose name haunts the industry still. Okay, we'll move on. Another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 30 points. This 19th century Italian composer of operas moved to Paris at age 37 and announced the
Country
end
day,
of his...
Jersey.
Wagner.
No, I'm afraid it wasn't. St. Martin's, we'll repeat. This 19th century Italian composer of operas moved to Paris at the age of 37 and announced the end of his composing career. He closed it with a comedy, La Comptorie, and a very grand opera, William Tell. For 10 points, who is this composer who also wrote The Barber of Seville?
St. Martin's, Jonathan.
Rossini.
Correct. 10 points. Mystery time, folks. 3 clues you get. You get it on the first 30. Get it on the second 20. Takes 3, 10 points. Otherwise, well, wait till the next one. First clue for 30 points, St. Martin's. She was born in Jackson, Mississippi in 1909, lives there still, and rendered Jackson, usually under cover of a fictitious name, over and over again in her works. In her works. Who was she for 30?
I delegate to Mr. Strickler. Clementine Hunter.
No, no. All right, now you got another clue for 20 points. A little more specific, her dialogue is so vivid that you feel you can put down her book and look up to see one of her characters primping in front of your mirror. She has won just about every prize available to writers, including the Pulitzer Prize.
Eudora Welty.
That's correct. Eudora Welty. Picked up 20 more points, St. Martin. Here's another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 20, although never considered one of the presidential greats. President Reagan has great admiration for, excuse me, post-Mardi Gras hack, has great admiration for him. Reagan admires this man. The president we're talking about, his administration during the Roaring 20s was marked by extreme tax reduction and government support to industry.
Country day, Jersey.
Calvin Coolidge.
You're correct. Calvin Coolidge, 10 points. And with that, this seesaw game, Country Day has gone back in front 75-70. You have a chance at 20 more. As you probably know, it's almost liftoff time, and the Columbia will shoot into the future. For 10 points apiece, who are the scheduled astronauts who will pilot this great white Batmobile?
Crippen and Young.
You got them both, 20 points. That's right, John Young and Robert Crippen. And with that buzzer comes a rapid fire round. As you know, in rapid fire, we have a 2-minute countdown. If you answer correctly during this round, it's 10 points. Incorrect is a -5 and no referrals. So I will ask the questions as quickly as they're answered and proceed until the next buzzer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the subject of the rapid fire in this round is people, places, and things, all based on general knowledge. The sequence of answers will be alphabetical. One for each letter. Will start with A, then B, then C, etc. So if you proceed rapidly and finish through Z, you might have a chance to start over again with A. So we're going to find out if you know your ABCs. Ready? Here we go. Number 1, the black American contralto of the Metropolitan Opera Company.
St. Martin's, Canton.
Anderson.
Correct. He was elected General Secretary of the Communist Party of the USSR in 1960.
St. Martin's, Jonas.
Brezhnev.
Correct. Italian explorer in service of England discovered the coast of North America.
St. Martin's, Strickler.
John Cabot.
That's right. Nymph who escaped from Apollo by becoming a laurel or bay tree.
Country Day,
Daphne.
Jurisic.
Correct. Mountains of northern Iran.
St. Martin's, Canton.
They're Elbers. Parasitic flatworm with a very complex life cycle.
Country Day, Jurisic.
What was the letter?
Is a fluke. Sorry, we can't repeat here. Famous 11th century noblewoman of Coventry known for her horseback.
St. Martin's,
Godiva.
Jonathan.
Correct. Combination spear and battle axe used in the 15th.
St. Martin's, Jonathan.
Albert.
Correct. What the abbreviation IE stands for.
St. Martin's, Canton.
Id Est.
Right. The capital of Indonesia.
St. Martin's, Canton.
Jakarta.
Correct. Scale of temperature measured in degrees
St. Martin's,
centigrade.
Canton.
Kelvin.
Correct. Composed of sheets or layers. Is,
Country Day, Burrowed.
Laminar.
that's right. All right. County north of San Francisco and site of best-selling novel The
St. Martin's, Xander.
Menlo.
No, it's Marin County. Canadian province. Its capital is Halifax.
New Brunswick.
No, this is Nova Scotia. Center for Atomic Research in Tennessee is...
St. Martin's,
Ridge.
Canton.
That's correct. Wait a minute. Did you say
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge? Jumped in there.
Can't.
He had buzzed. Annie's friend and Oliver Warbuck's Indian servant is Punjab. One of the main characters in Moby Dick.
St. Martin's, Canton.
Queequeg.
That's correct. Factor for classifying blood as positive or negative.
St. Martin, Canton.
RH.
Correct. Australian operatic soprano Joan.
St. Martin's,
Sutherland.
That's correct. English historian and author of a 10-volume study of history is Toynbee. Province of Ireland in the northern part is Ulster. Meat from a young calf.
St. Martin's, Canton.
Veal.
Correct. British author of Jeeves, the classic comic butler.
St. Martin's, Canton.
Roadhouse.
Correct. Persian king who was the victor at the Battle of Thermopylae was Xerxes, and thus ends our first round. First half is over with that rapid fire. We're going to pause here for just a moment, and then we'll be back in just a moment. And we want you to meet the individuals who are participating today and hear something about their future plans. So stay tuned.
You can expect the unexpected during festival nights on public TV when it's something spectacular with Steve Allen.
Start the show, fellas. We got one.
Steve's back in classic style, and if it's anything like last year's show, there'll be lots of music, laughs, special guests, and of course the whole Steve Allen gang.
My name, I'll say Jimenez.
Expect the unexpected when it's something spectacular with Steve Allen.
See it tonight at 7 on Channel 12.
Here we are. We're going to continue playing in just a moment. A very good game here between Country Day and St. Martin. Right now, however, I'm going to ask the contestants to tell me a bit about their future plans as far as they can determine. We'll start with Bart over here on the end of our panel. Bart?
Okay, let's see. What I'm doing right now is waiting for my college notices.
Right.
And in April, I'll be with most of the seniors of Country Day on a trip to Yucatan to study archaeology.
Boy, that's terrific. That's something to look forward to.
Yes.
John Paul?
Well, I've been accepted at MIT, so that's where I'm probably going to go, and I'll study some kind of, probably engineering,
Well, that's-
probably electrical or aeronautical.
Well, I want to wish you a lot of luck. Not everybody gets accepted to MIT. That
Thank
is
you.
for certain. An outstanding school.
Thank you.
Julie, you've got a couple of more years to go, don't you? What are your plans in the future?
Well, I'm going to go to the best place I get accepted at. And I'm not sure what I'm going to study.
Right. Well, as a sophomore, I guess you've got a lot of options that you should leave open to yourself. How about you, Mitty?
I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do, but I like to go to an Eastern school.
To an Eastern school, and any particular interest that you have right now that might develop into a career?
Some sort of science-related field, but
That's what I had in mind. Very good. Good luck to each and every one of you, and congratulations on representing your school, Country Day here. St. Martin's, Chris Strickler, what are you playing?
Okay, I've been accepted at Austin College, which is in North Texas. I'm going to study art history.
Art history?
Yeah.
Good. Do you paint at all, or?
No, I don't.
But you're interested in...
Yeah, I'm a worst artist.
Excellent. Well, I wish you a lot of luck. How about you, Barry? You're the captain.
Well, I plan to attend either the University of the South or Tulane and major in nuclear physics or related scientific field.
Good. What about you?
Well, I'm not sure what college I'm going to go to yet, but I'm either going to be a chemistry professor or a cartoonist.
That's the dirtiest combination I have ever heard. Scott, how about you?
I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to go. I'm probably going to go somewhere in the Northwest and study forestry.
That's terrific. Well, it's best up there. They've got the trees for it, and good luck to each and every one of you. St. Martin. Oh, boy. I can see Mr. Joe Nanson's first book, Fun with Chemistry. You're beautiful. Okay, here we go. Second half. The score right now is St. Martin's 195, Metairie Park Country Day 110. Still a relatively close game. We're going to begin with this visual face-off, and we're leading toward a lanyap at 20 points, teams. Please direct your attention to the monitors here in the studio, if you would now. You'll see one of the Pacific Northwest's most inspiring sights, a mountain that towers to a height of over 11,000...
Bro, Mount Rainier. Rainier.
No, I'm afraid not. I'll repeat now for St. Martin's. It's in the same area, but that's not the mountain we're talking about. All right, you see one of the Pacific Northwest's most inspiring sights. It's a mountain that towers to a height of over 11,000 feet to claim Oregon's highest point of elevation. For 10 points, name this peak of volcanic origin.
St. Martin's, Xander.
Mount Hood.
Correct. 10 points. Did you or did you not say you were going to the Northwest, perhaps, for Forrest? He knows the territory. Lanyap at 20 points coming up, St. Martin's. For 5 points apiece. Tell me the present names of the following former Major League Baseball teams. In other words, I'm going to give you their location, their team name. You tell me where they're located now, their team name. Number one, the St. Louis Browns became what?
St. Louis Cardinals.
No, the Baltimore Orioles. They were moved to Baltimore and became the present-day Orioles. Number two, the Seattle Pilots. This is a little tricky.
Milwaukee.
What? Milwaukee what?
Brewers.
Correct, for 5. For 5 more, Washington Senators. Eventually became...
Texas Rangers.
That's correct. And finally, the Philadelphia Athletics are now...
The Oakland Athletics.
You had 3 of the 4. That's 15 points. St. Martin. We have another face-off. We're going now for a lanyap at 20 points, teams. For 10 points, what is the term used in the stock market for buying securities on credit?
St. Martin's, Canton.
Buying on margin.
That's correct. 10 points. Here's a lanyap at 20 points. Locked in the steamy jungle, these 3 large mounds have long intrigued archaeologists. But it was not until 1978 that major excavation began at the swampy site, where experts now believe the findings will dramatically rewrite the history of the Mayan civilization. For 10 points apiece, tell me by what name this site is known and in what country it is located. Ask for an answer.
Chichen Itza in Mexico.
No, this is El Mirador in Guatemala. Guatemala. We have another. All right, we have 1978, the judge informs me, is the clue. Chichen Itza is also a very remarkable archaeological dig. We have another face-off going for a lanyap at 25. For 10 points, what do all of the following things have in common? Listen carefully. Snook, cobia, albacore, and bonito.
St. Martin's, Canton.
They're all types of tuna.
No, I'm afraid not. All right, anybody? Metairie Park?
Country Day, bro.
All kinds of fish.
That's right, they're all types of fish. We have 10 points. We have a lanyap at 25. Thanks to Hollywood, modern viewers are familiar with many real and imaginary prehistoric monsters, creatures, actually. Very real creatures who lived once. For 5 points apiece. Please provide the names of the following. First, the herbivorous and semi-aquatic thunder lizard. What was the thunder lizard called?
Brontosaurus.
That's right, for 5. For 5 more. The earliest known horse, 10 to 20 inches height. Hello, hi. Oh, okay. In height.
Wait.
It was known as the Eohippus. Number 3, the dinosaur whose name derives from its 3 horns. The 3-horned dinosaur.
Triceratops.
That's correct. Number 4, the duck-billed dinosaur was called what? duck-billed
Platosaurus.
I'm sorry?
Platosaurus.
No, it was known as the Anatosaurus. And finally, the flesh-eating predator considered the king of the dinosaurs.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
You got it. 3 of the 5. That's 15 points for Country Day. Another face-off going for a lanyap at 20, although not spelled identically. They sound alike and come from the same root. For 10 points now. What one word is both the name of a street in uptown New Orleans and a word meaning a short drapery or facing of wood or metal across the top of a window, concealing curtain rods? Common word.
St. Martin's, Jonathan.
Balance?
That's right. For 10 points, it is a balance. Here's a lanyap at 20. All right, St. Martin's, these two men were rivals for the presidency of the United States in the most disputed presidential election in United States history. Congress even had to create a special electoral commission to decide the winner. For 10 points apiece, correctly identify these two presidential candidates who opposed each other in the election of 1876.
Hayes and Tilden.
You've got them both. Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel J. Tilden for 20 points. Here's a face-off. We're going for a lanyap now of 20 again. This ex-quarterback became commissioner of the American Football Association on February 7th.
St. Martin's, Jonathan.
Pete Rozelle.
No, afraid not. We're going to refer it now and repeat. According to the rules, you must ring in for recognition. This ex-quarterback became commissioner of the American Football Association, a new association, on February the 7th. For 10 quick points, can you name him? Anybody?
Unitas.
No. Billy Kilmer, another quarterback. Billy Kilmer, sometimes referred to affectionately as Old Furnace Face by his comrades with the Saints. Another face-off. We're going for the lanyap at 20. It's a unit of electric charge equal in magnitude to the charge of 6.25 times 10 to the 18th power electrons.
Country Day, bro.
Coulomb.
Correct, for 10 points. Coulomb. Here's a 20-point lanyap coming up. Many literary classics, especially children's books, are almost as famous for their original illustrations as they are for the text. For 10 apiece, name the artist who did the original illustrations for the following. Number 1, the man who illustrated the original Alice in Wonderland.
Tenniel.
That's correct, John Tenniel. The illustrator who put an indelible image on the characters he drew for Kenneth Graham's The Wind in the Willows and his ink drawings in the Pooh Bear books. They're so famous, unfortunately his name is not nearly as famous, but he's a great illustrator. Ernest Shepard was his name. He picked up 10 points, Country Day. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 25. The way sound is recorded on conventional records and tapes is called analog. Even audiophile recordings that proclaim digital on their jackets are only digitally mastered and then transferred to an analog disc. But the coming digital recordings are hot stuff. It sounds dramatically better than the best analog.
St. Martin, Jonathan.
Video disc?
No, I'm afraid not. We'll repeat for Country Day. The way sounds recorded in conventional records and tapes is called analog. Even audiophile recordings that proclaim digital on their jackets are only digitally mastered, then transferred to an analog disc. The coming digital recordings are hot stuff. It sounds dramatically better than the best analog recordings. For 10 points, tell me into what is sound transformed in digital recordings? Into what?
Numbers. Country Day, Jurisage.
Numbers, no, it's actually beyond numbers. It's a binary computer code. Another face-off. We're going for a lanyap at 25. Katharine Hepburn is the most nominated actress in Academy Award history. For 10 points, name the first actress to win 2 Academy Awards for Best...
Canton.
Louise Rayner.
That's correct, for 10 points. Your lanyap is 25 points. Where the continents of Asia, Africa, and Europe join together, there are 5 seas for 5 points apiece. Name the 5.
I'll delegate to Mr. Zander.
The Black Sea, the Red Sea, the Caspian Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, and
All right. One more.
the Dead
Yep.
Sea.
No, I'm afraid not. The Dead Sea was the one that was wrong. The others were correct. Mediterranean Black, Caspian Red are correct. Persian Gulf actually is the 5th, nominally a sea. You've got 20 points, St. Martin's. We have another face-off. We're going for a lanyap of 30. In Nevada, Oklahoma, California, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Tennessee, Arizona, and over 2,300 lives lost. What never-to-be-forgotten day of infamy and moment in history might so be described. What are we talking about?
Country Day, bro.
Pearl Harbor.
That's right, it was. Attack on Pearl Harbor, you have 10 points. Here's your lanyap for 30, a clue-type question. If you get it in the first clue, 30. If it takes 2, 20. Takes all 3, it's 10. First clue. He was born September 8, 1841, in Nelahozeves, Czechoslovakia. He died May 1st, 1904 in Prague. His father was a village innkeeper and butcher who hoped to pass his trade on to his son, but the young man turned instead to music.
Lennon?
No. Clue 2 for 20. He took up the violin and organ and at 16 left home to study in Prague, where he joined the orchestra to the National Theater, playing the viola. Until he was over 30 years of age, he was unknown as a composer. Then in 1875, his rare talent came to the attention of Johannes Brahms. Brahms launched him on his career. Who was he? We'll try for 10. He wrote his first symphony in 1865, his eighth in 1889, probably his best known is called The New World. The New World Symphony.
Bach?
No, it's Antonin Dvorak. Anton Dvorak. All right, we'll move on to another face-off, going for Lagniappe at 20. In the recent Channel 12 special about Mount St. Helens, geologists discuss the slip line along which earthquakes occur and volcanoes erupt. For 10 points, tell me the name of the famous slip line that runs north.
San Andreas Fault.
That is correct, the San Andreas Fault for 10 points. You have a 20-point Lagniappe coming up. Deficiency in either of these two vitamins results in anemia, in one case with very large red blood cells, and in the other case, often pernicious anemia. One of the vitamins is found in meats, shellfish, fish, egg yolks, and milk, but not in vegetables. The other vitamin is found in vegetables, wheat germ, bran, and nuts, but not in animal products. For 5 points each, name the two B vitamins. For another 5, tell me where each is found in nature.
One is B12.
That's correct.
The other is B6. No, B2, thiamine, I think.
All right, can you tell me where they're found?
Thiamine and stuff is found in the non-animal stuff.
Well, I'm afraid we're on the buzzer. Correct on the vitamin B12. The other was incorrect, and then, of course, the buzzer sounded. And we're going to validate the final score, total it up, and we'll be right back to declare our winner. And that team will advance to the round of 16. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Once Upon a Classic presents Black Island.
From our last 2 cans of grub, hardly any matches left. What a filthy mess.
What about having another go, trying to get away from here? Depends how. In a dinghy tomorrow.
I'm Bill Bixby. Join me for Black Island here on PBS.
See it today at 5:30 here on Channel 12.
Well, the game is over and the score is final. St. Martin's Protestant Episcopal School 280, Metairie Park Country Day 175. St. Martin's is our winner, and they advance to the round of 16. Congratulations, St. Martin's. Outstanding performance on part of both schools, as they tallied well over 400 points, the two of them. In our elimination tournament game plan, today's winner, St. Martin's, will be back in April to play the winner of the game tomorrow between Terrebonne High School and Warren Easton Fundamental. That's round 4 of Varsity Quiz Bowl. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
The questions on Varsity Quiz Bowl are prepared and authenticated by the WIS editorial research staff and known only in advance to the quizmaster, producer, judge, and researcher. All 64 schools participating in our year-long tournament are matched by blind draw. Selections of team members and methods of preparation are the sole responsibility of the schools and their coaches. The preceding program was made possible by a grant from Pan American Life Insurance Company.